The first thing I noticed was the absence of blue. My family reunion buzzed in my aunt's backyard, a spectacle of summer colors, but there was no hint of the cobalt balloons or buttercream frosted cake I'd naively, secretly hoped for. I'm Leo, 24, the family's quiet afterthought. My older sister, Clara, a neurology resident, held court by the rose bushes, the sun catching her new diamond bracelet, a just because gift from our parents. I, the social media manager for a small arts nonprofit, stood by the potato salad, feeling as substantial as the decorative parsley. 3 weeks earlier, I'd called my mother. "The reunion is on the 18th. You know that's my birthday, right?" Her tone was smooth, dismissive. "Leo, darling, of course. It's all handled. Just show up." Now, watching a gigantic sheet cake emblazoned with "Congratulations, Clara," I understood. The party was a curated highlight reel for everyone else. Toasts to my cousin's bar exam, gifts for my aunt's retirement. I was a ghost, haunting the periphery of my own life. As dusk fell, my mother clapped her hands. "Well, I think that covers everyone's wonderful news." Her smile was radiant, final. My heart hammered. "What about my birthday?" The words sliced the chatter. An awkward silence dropped. All eyes swung to my parents, who wore identical expressions of pained exasperation. My father forced a laugh. "Leo, son, you're a grown man. We thought you'd outgrown the birthday song routine." The condescension was a physical slap. "Outgrown?" My voice was thin. "I'm 24. Is there an age limit on being acknowledged?" My mother's smile didn't reach her eyes. "We had to reallocate the budget, honey," she said, faux regret dripping. "Clara's medical conference in Vienna was more important for her future. You understand? It was just an accident of timing." The shrug that followed was delicate, dismissive. "Besides, you never seemed to want fuss." The smirk that flickered after her apology was the real message. It wasn't an accident. It was a choice, a deliberate erasure. That smirk, frozen in the twinkling fairy lights, was the catalyst. Something brittle inside me snapped. I simply nodded. "Right, an accident. I understand." And I did. I understood the game perfectly for the first time. The accidents became a cruel, predictable script. 2 weeks later, at Giancarlo's, an Italian restaurant with prices listed without dollar signs, I arrived to find my entire family cozily around a large table set for 7. There was no 8th chair. "Leo, there you are," my mother trilled, pointing to a tiny table for 1 shoved against the service station. "We thought you'd prefer something quieter. You always been our little loner." The label, delivered with a sympathetic tilt, was a brand. I ate my $36 risotto in solitary silence, watching them pass bread, share meals, laugh at stories I wasn't part of. Every few minutes, Clara would glance over and offer a little wave, the kind you give a friendly stranger. The photographer arrived for the family portrait. As we shuffled onto the patio, my father cleared his throat. "Let's get a proper one with just the core family," he announced, his arm sweeping to include my parents, Clara, and her husband. He physically turned, blocking me. "Dad," I said, stepping forward. My mother placed a firm hand on my chest. Her touch was ice. "Leo, not now. This is for the mantle, for something we can be proud of." The photographer, looking pained, snapped the picture. In it, they are a perfect smiling unit. I am a blurry figure in the background, half turned away. The most clarifying accident happened at their holiday cocktail party. An hour in, my mother cornered me by the grand piano. "The adults are retiring to the library for port. We need you to corral all the children upstairs." "I am an adult, Mom." She sighed, long-suffering. "You know what I mean. The contributing adults, the ones with real careers. This is exactly why people don't take you seriously. You can't even do a simple thing to help your family." Her eyes gleamed with contempt. That was the moment. As she turned, I slipped my phone out, opened the voice memo app, and hit record. I captured her next comment to my aunt. "He's so sensitive. It's exhausting. We can't cater to his childish need for attention." From that night, I became an archivist of my own neglect. While they saw a quiet failure, I built a case. Screenshots of the family group chat, the one named Inner Circle from which I was excluded, showed them planning a ski trip. Don't mention it to Leo, he'll want to come and he can't afford it. Plus, he always brings the mood down. Voice memos held my father's lament. We worry he'll never find his way. He's just adrift, a minimal earner. They crafted a narrative. Leo was financially irresponsible, a drain. The hypocrisy was staggering. They perpetually complained about money, the taxes, the country club repairs, yet there was always a windfall for Clara, a condo down payment, a flight to Singapore. Meanwhile, they borrowed from me. A temporary loan of $300 for a car repair, the week they bought Clara a new MacBook. $500 for a misunderstood dinner bill from an event I wasn't invited to. I always transferred the money, a quiet participant in my own exploitation. They believed I lived paycheck to paycheck. What they didn't know was their constant drains had forced me into a discipline they lacked, brutal frugality. While they leveraged debt for appearances, I saved. Every ignored gift translated into a transfer to my savings account. My colleague Anya, who'd escaped a similar dynamic, helped me name it. It's emotional blackmail, Leo. They need you to be the failing counterpart to Clara's success. You're not a son, you're a prop. Her words were a key. I stopped hoping for a change in them. I started preparing for a change in me. I compiled the evidence, recordings, screenshots, bank transfer receipts with my name sending money to my parents, totals highlighted, $4,850. My savings account balance visibly showing a five-figure sum over $20,000. The final slide? Who is really financially irresponsible? The silence was absolute. My Uncle Mark, a stern lawyer, stood. Richard, is this true? You've been borrowing thousands from Leo while telling us he was a mooch? My father sputtered. My mother's voice was shrill. He's twisting it. We were going to pay him back. When? After the next accident? I asked softly. Clara finally spoke, trembling with rage. You've ruined my night. You've humiliated our family. I looked at her. No, Clara, you humiliated me for 24 years. I'm just finally letting you see what it looks like. I walked out. I didn't slam the door. I closed it quietly, definitively. Behind me, I left not a scene, but a reckoning. The perfect family portrait was shattered. I didn't need their apology. The freedom I breathed in the cool night air was sweeter. It was the sound of my own story, told in my own voice, finally louder than their fiction. I drove to my paid-off car, to my own apartment, and slept more soundly than I had in my entire life. The accidents were over. My life, finally, was intentional.